This is the real message behind Ivanka's bangin' revenge body. 2 weeks ago, as federal troops were deploying to Oregon and the clock to a government shutdown was ticking down, former senior advisor to the president, Ivanka Trump, took to social media, posing on a midtown roof in a tight black mini dress and black and silver high heels with the tagline, "In a New York state of mind." This is a trend. Over the summer, while her father was struggling to deflect investigations into his close relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, Ivanka captioned another post with "feeling good" pink heart emoji. To prove the point, the first daughter, aged 43, shared multiple pics of herself in a princess pink corset and matching trousers with cutouts at the waist, created by Australian designer Alex Perry, who has also dressed Kim Kardashian. Ivanka's expression is serious as she poses in profile, staring out a window with a look that's equally gauzy and gaudy. In post after post, Ivanka showcases her flowing blonde Mar-a-Lago locks, long legs, toned midriff, and ample chest. She swans in fancy British hotels, on gondolas in Venice, and on Manhattan rooftops. Gone are the Davos power sheath and blunt business bob from her time at the White House during her father's first term. Instead, recently, Ivanka has slipped into something a little more comfortable, the role of a hot trad wife. A survey of her social feed reveals that the first daughter is focusing on the 3 F's: fashion, fitness, and family. Children may be starving in Sudan and Gaza, but Ivanka wants you to know that her 3 kids are having a blast. The good kind of blast, not the kind that Ukrainian kids are experiencing from Russian drones. Ivanka's curated images come across as both out of time and out of touch. The same is true of the advice she shares. She recently reposted a marketing expert who insisted that the, quote, secret weapon for life is to stay calm, not complain, and most of all, be steady. Given her father's taco tendencies, Ivanka's post is either completely clueless or an epic troll. Nothing unpleasant happens in Ivanka land. When her father was in Scotland ranting about windmills and how he never had the privilege of going to Jeffrey Epstein's pedo island, Ivanka struck a pensive pose from the grand staircase of London's elegant Raffles Hotel. With a poetic lilt that her father does not possess, Ivanka added the caption, "Evening pending." Evening? In this economy? Only the very wealthy can afford an evening. Now, based on the lighting, settings, and unnatural poses, Ivanka's fashion photos appeared to be shot by professionals. It's model behavior, but what is she selling? Maybe Ivanka gets the clothing free in exchange for promotion. But if that's the case, she's meant to mark her posts as branded content. More likely, she herself is the product, perhaps with plans to someday publish a knockoff of her stepmother's best-selling book, Melania. Or maybe these thirst traps are Ivanka's attempts to flaunt her revenge body at scale. From bikinis to little black dresses with more cheeky cutouts, this mother of 3 wants the world to know that she has never looked hotter. The message seems obvious. Since she broke up with America, she is having the time of her life. The subtext seems obvious too. This is what you had, and this is what you're missing. Ivanka's turn from politics began in November 2022 when Donald Trump announced a 3rd run for the White House. In response, Ivanka stated that she was stepping back from the campaign and choosing to, quote, prioritize my young children and the private life we are creating as a family. But she isn't that interested in keeping her private life private. At the start of July, Ivanka posted 20 photos with the caption, "By June, exclam, waving hand emoji." The virtual scrapbook kicked off with Ivanka and husband Jared Kushner looking resplendent in a Venetian gondola on their way to celebrate Jeff Bezos' public happy ending. The slideshow concluded with Trump and Kushner floating in a different gondola while wearing different outfits at the same wedding. Now, Ivanka wasn't always a woman of leisure. During the first Trump presidency, she headed up the White House Office of Economic Initiatives and Entrepreneurship. Her qualifications were she was CEO of a high-end jewelry business and a mid-end fashion line, which she juggled with, in her words, a role leading the Trump organization. But entrepreneurship is so 2020. Still, the decision not to work outside the home might surprise 2017 Ivanka, who literally wrote a book with the title Women Who Work, with the stated objective of inspiring women to architect a life of success. In the book's introduction, she insisted, quote, "The time to change the narrative around women and work once and for all is overdue. In fact, it's become my life's mission." Granted, my life's mission sounds better than my 5, maybe 6-year life mission. And of course, as the saying goes, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. But Ivanka did a fast 180. Her businesses did a fast 180 too. Ivanka's jewelry and fashion companies went under within a year of the launch of her book, Women Who Work. Even Ivanka's flagship website, IvankaTrump.com, which launched in late 2014, shuttered in the summer of 2018. On top of that, Ivanka is no longer even listed on the Trump Organization's website, although she does continue to work on real estate deals with her husband. Not too long ago, the couple acquired an Albanian island, which they plan to develop into a luxury resort. Although Ivanka is open to visiting her father in the Oval Office, politics remain off limits. As she explained on the Him and Her Show podcast back in January, it's, quote, "a very dark, negative business. And some people love, like, the gladiator aspect of it. You know, the fight. That was never me. But it was her." Ivanka should not be allowed to indulge in revisionist history and distance herself from Trumpism when she was so integral to her father's political success. Without his daughter's loud support, Donald Trump might not have been able to overcome accusations of sexual harassment and assault from more than 20 women. Would the grab him by the pussy tape have been so readily dismissed if his poised and pretty daughter hadn't assured America at the 2016 Republican National Convention, quote, "Throughout my entire life, I have witnessed his empathy and generosity towards others, especially those who are suffering." And speaking of suffering, this summer, the Trump administration pushed through cutbacks in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which will make it harder for children from low-income families to receive school meals. The same exact day that Senate Republicans voted to approve these cuts, Ivanka once again took to Instagram. But instead of voicing her support for American children facing food scarcity, she posted a photo of one of her sons chowing down on a big bowl of pasta. If the trend continues, we can all look forward to enjoying Ivanka's mini dresses and plunging necklines as America plunges into civil war.